The night before my wedding, I won the lottery $5 million, just like that. I didn't hesitate. Every bit of my savings went into paying for my boyfriend's cancer treatment. I didn't care about the cost, I just wanted him to survive. He did. He beat the cancer, but once he was well again, he left me without a second thought. He ran straight to the woman he'd always been infatuated with, the one he called his true love. Facing death made me realize something. He said, his voice calm and sure. The only person I've ever really loved is her. I was devastated. I tried to win him back, refusing to believe this was the end. But all I got in return was their cruel laughter, their cutting words. They humiliated me like I meant nothing. Heartbroken and defeated, I caught a cab home, unsure of what to do next. But life had one last surprise for me. A car accident that night changed everything. When I came to, I was back in time right to the night before I'd won the lottery. Chapter 1. Your account has received a deposit of $5 million at 5:18 p.m. on September 8. Current balance, $5,004,627.48. Note, lottery winnings. Seeing that message was the first time it really hit me I wasn't dreaming. This was real. Yep, I'd somehow been given a second chance at life. And I landed right back at the moment before everything changed, the day I won the lottery. This time though, I wasn't about to make the same mistakes. I carefully tucked the lottery ticket away, keeping it to myself. Not a word to him about the money. Not this time. I went to claim the winnings alone, no more dragging Cyrus Bennett along like before. There's a saying. Quiet money is the best money. And I was going to live by it. Don't go bragging about your fortune, not even to family or friends. People get greedy. They'll smile to your face, but behind your back, they're plotting how to get their hands on it. In my last life, the moment I found out I'd won, I ran straight to Cyrus, bursting with excitement. He grabbed my face, practically vibrating with joy, and kissed me hard 3 times in a row. Baby, you're amazing. We're set for life. You're our lucky charm. He shouted, almost delirious with happiness. We had it all mapped out: buy a house, buy a car, and then get married. Life was finally coming together. But then, the day before the wedding, everything fell apart. Cyrus was diagnosed with cancer. I didn't even hesitate. I handed over every last cent of the lottery winnings so he could get the best treatment possible. I loved him. What else could I do? He got better. But just when I thought we could finally move on with our lives, he left me. For her. I came so close to death. He said, his voice calm, like he was explaining something completely obvious. And I realized the only person I've ever truly loved is her. I was crushed. I begged him to stay, to remember everything we'd been through. But all I got in return was their laughter, their cruel words cutting me to pieces. I lost everything: my money, my pride, and eventually, my life. But not this time. This time, I've got the money. As for that piece of trash, he can rot. First things first though. I needed to treat myself. A little shopping spree and a nice meal sounded like a good start. I was sitting in a restaurant at the ABS Mall, enjoying my food, when I saw Cyrus and her, Liana Harper, the woman he called his true love. They were sitting at the table right next to mine, just one thin screen separating us, their backs to me. I didn't say a word. No need to make a scene. In my last life, Cyrus had introduced Liana as his co-worker and I had believed him. Why wouldn't I? They worked at the same company, and everything seemed innocent enough. It wasn't until much later that I found out the truth: Liana wasn't just a colleague. She was his first love, the one he'd always kept in his heart. I watched as Cyrus handed her the menu, his eyes soft, his actions gentle. Liana skimmed the menu, and then casually ordered a few dishes. This should be enough for the two of us, she said with a smile. Cyrus glanced over the menu and added, "Don't you love that tofu soup? We should get that too." I couldn't help but feel a sting. After all the time we'd been together, he never once remembered what I liked to eat. Birthdays, holidays he never even bothered with gifts. But here he was, effortlessly recalling Liana's favorite dishes. Back then, I used to convince myself this was normal. He was just practical, I thought. A man focused on the future, not on silly romantic gestures. I told myself that's what a good man does. Looking back now, I realize I was just making excuses for him. I was so blinded by love that I didn't see how one-sided it all was. I used to think walking away would be enough, but seeing them together? I had a new plan. I plastered a surprised look on my face and walked over to their table. Wow, what a coincidence. Cyrus's reaction was almost comical, first startled, and then flustered, and finally trying to act calm, like watching a bad actor in a play. Nora! What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at work? I've got the day off. I said casually. Just picking up some things for my parents. What about you? I didn't expect to see you here. Oh, He hesitated, clearly scrambling for a lie. This is Liana Harper, my colleague. We just finished meeting a client nearby, so we thought we'd grab some lunch. He was playing it so cool, but if I hadn't lived through all this once before, I might have actually believed him. But I knew better now. I knew exactly who Liana was. I turned to Liana, giving her a polite but pointed smile. Nice to meet you, Miss Harper. I said sweetly. I'm Nora Emerson. You'll have to come to our wedding when Cyrus and I finally set a date. For a split second, she froze and then shot a glance at Cyrus, her expression unreadable. Before I could say more, Cyrus jumped in, clearly uncomfortable. There's no rush on that, Nora. We'll talk about it when the time's right. He handed me his credit card with a practiced smile. Here, take this. I've got work to finish up, so I can't stay. Just pick up whatever you need for your parents. Funny how he never had time for me but always seemed to have time for her. I smiled sweetly and took the card. I didn't care who he was with anymore. Soon enough, I'd be dumping him. But first, I had a little revenge to take care of. As I walked out of the restaurant, I could almost feel the weight of my past lifting off my shoulders. Cyrus didn't know it yet, but he was going to pay for everything I'd done for him in my last life. I headed straight to the mall and indulged in the kind of shopping spree I'd never even dreamed of before. Designer clothes. Bought. A set for me and a set for my parents. Luxury skincare. Bought. 2 sets, one for me, one for mom. Gold jewelry. Bought. Matching necklaces for mom and me. Dad's favorite watch. Bought. His favorite whiskey. Bought. With my arms full of bags, I headed home, feeling lighter than I had in years. Mom, Dad, I'm back. I called out as I walked through the door, my arms loaded with shopping bags. My mom rushed over and immediately started fussing over the bags in my hands, her words coming in a familiar, rapid stream. Why'd you buy so much? You didn't need to. Just coming home is enough. Save your money. You and Cyrus will have plenty of expenses once you're married. Your father and I don't need anything. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself. As she rambled on, something inside me broke. I dropped the bags, threw my arms around her, and started crying. Sweetheart, what's wrong? What happened? She asked, completely caught off guard, her hands hovering awkwardly in the air before she gently started patting my back, trying to comfort me. After a few deep breaths, I finally managed to speak. I'm fine, Mom. Really? It's just I won the lottery. $5 million. She blinked, still rubbing my back, and replied in her typical no-nonsense way. Well, that's great news. Glad to hear it. Now come on, your dad's made dinner. She started leading me toward the dining room when, suddenly, she froze. Slowly, she turned, eyes wide. Wait, what did you just say? 5 million? I nodded, my tears now replaced with a grin. Yep. 5 million. Her eyes grew even wider, and soon enough, my dad joined in, both of them practically glowing with excitement. But once the initial celebration passed, their first piece of advice was exactly what I expected. Don't tell anyone, especially not Cyrus. Dad warned. Money changes everything. Keep it to yourself. They didn't know the full story though. I had no intention of marrying Cyrus. Cyrus wasn't with me because he loved me. He was with me because I was convenient, my looks, my family background, my personality. I was suitable. We'd met through mutual friends, and at the time, I thought he seemed like a decent guy. He was easy on the eyes, had a stable job, and while a bit cold, he seemed like someone I could build a life with. I'd never been in a serious relationship before, so I thought that was just how things were supposed to be. I figured that love was supposed to be steady and quiet, not passionate or loud. I thought we were a typical couple, no drama, no fireworks, just two people getting through life together. But now, I see it clearly. That quietness wasn't because we were a perfect fit, it was because we weren't. Real love doesn't feel like settling. It's not supposed to be this dull, this empty. I didn't realize it back then, but I do now. After dinner, I headed back to the apartment I shared with Cyrus. As soon as I walked through the door, I saw him sitting on the couch, his face a mask of fury. I hadn't even had a chance to put my bag down when he exploded. Nora! What the hell did you do today? My card got hit with thousands in charges. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing with alerts all afternoon. I looked at him with wide, innocent eyes, acting shocked by his outburst. Oh, that? I just bought a few things for my parents, some clothes, some health supplements. You know, the usual. I shrugged nonchalantly. I even picked up a few things for your parents too. We're about to get married, right? It's no big deal to spend a little money. What's got you so worked up? I let a tear or two well up, making sure to look as pitiful as possible. And besides, I added, my voice softening, I wasn't just thinking about myself. I wanted my parents to see what a generous son-in-law you'll be. You know, if they're impressed, they might even help us with the down payment on the house. I'm doing this for us. I'm not wasting money. I'm just trying to build our future together. So why are you so angry? I let out a dramatic sigh and wiped at my pretend tears, and then turned and stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door behind me for effect. Once inside, my expression shifted to a smirk. This was only the beginning for Cyrus. In my last life, even though I controlled his paycheck, he had a way of manipulating me, making me believe his money had to be saved for important things like a house or a car. Meanwhile, my money was supposed to cover all the day-to-day expenses. And back then, I bought into it. I thought I was being smart, independent, contributing to our future. So most of the time, we lived off my income while his just sat there untouched. He trusted me with his card because he knew I wasn't going to spend it. I was too busy saving for us. When holidays or special occasions rolled around, he always had the same excuse for not getting me gifts. You've got the card. He'd say, buy whatever you want. And like the fool I was, I thought that was fine. Looking back, I can't believe how naive I was. Why was I saving money for him? For us. He was the only one benefiting from it. But this time? Yeah, this time, I'm not playing that game. The next morning, I opened the bedroom door. Cyrus was standing there, looking sheepish, guilt all over his face. Nora, I'm sorry about yesterday. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. Please don't stay mad at me. I didn't even acknowledge him. Instead, I went straight into the kitchen and started making breakfast just for myself. Cyrus hovered awkwardly in the living room, clearly at a loss for what to do. He wasn't used to me giving him the cold shoulder. Usually, I'd be the one soothing his temper, not the other way around. Then, suddenly, he doubled over, clutching his stomach. His face went pale, and I could see the veins bulging in his neck. He looked like he was in serious pain. But I didn't rush to his side like I used to. I just stood there, watching him suffer. Honestly, I was kind of hoping the pain would last a little longer. I waited until he couldn't take it anymore, until he finally begged for my help. Babe, my stomach, it really hurts. Can you call an ambulance? Feigning concern, I hurried over. Oh my God, Cyrus. What's wrong? Are you okay? Here, take some medicine. I shoved a handful of painkillers into his hand way more than necessary and helped him to bed. I didn't even mention the hospital. I wanted to see how long it would take before he realized this wasn't just a stomachache. In my last life, Cyrus got cancer. He only survived because I forced him to go to the hospital and get checked out. They caught it early, and thanks to my lottery winnings, I paid for the best treatments. I nursed him back to health like the dutiful wife I thought I was. He beat it, sure. But let's be real, he survived because of me. If I hadn't pushed him to get treated, if I hadn't thrown all my money into his recovery, he wouldn't have made it. I was at least 80% of the reason he pulled through. But this time, I'm not playing nurse. He's on his own. After he took his card back, I started spending more time at my parents' house. Occasionally, I'd send fancy gifts to both sets of parents. The best part? I'd send Cyrus the links and let him foot the bill. Then, when his parents called to thank me, gushing about how thoughtful and generous I was, how lucky they were to have me as their daughter-in-law, I'd just smile and let them believe it. They were so proud of their son for marrying such a good woman. They acted like Cyrus had hit the jackpot with me, and I wasn't about to correct them. I just smiled and nodded. In my last life, his money was always for the house, while mine was spent on everything else: bills, groceries, gifts. I never bought anything extravagant for his parents, and they never once called me generous. In fact, they thought I was stingy. But now, spending his money, I'm not holding back. I'm buying the best of the best, and I don't feel the slightest bit guilty about it. As for my own money, he won't see a penny of it. I'm just taking back what's owed to me. Oh, and let's not forget I've seen Liana texting him more than a few times. Chapter 2. He thought I didn't notice him sneaking glances at his phone, but I saw everything. He always made sure to hide it from me, like I couldn't figure it out. Today was the big day. Our families were meeting to discuss the wedding details. My mom started things off. Her tone was polite but firm. Cyrus, what's important is that there's a proper home for Nora. We don't want her living in a rental once she's married. My dad nodded in agreement. Exactly. And we want Nora's name on the deed too. Cyrus's parents looked uncomfortable. After an awkward silence, his dad spoke up. We understand, we really do. You don't want your daughter to have a hard life. But honestly, with the property prices in here, buying a house before the wedding, it's just not something we can afford right now. In a low voice, I leaned closer to Cyrus and said, just go along with it for now. You can tell them later that we're buying a property that's under construction, and the move-in date will be delayed a bit. We're just short a little over $100,000 for that, but my parents said they'll give us $50,000 as a gift to help us out. Cyrus's eyes lit up. Really? He whispered back, barely able to contain his excitement. Of course. Why would I lie? I'm their only daughter. With that, we'll have enough for the house, and we can put both our names on the deed. It'll be our joint property, just like a real couple's house should be. I gave him the sweetest smile, playing the part perfectly, like I was thinking only of our future. Cyrus, eager to please, turned to my parents. Mr. Emerson, I love Nora very much, and I'll make sure she has the home she deserves. His mom tugged his sleeve and whispered, where are you going to get the money for a house? Don't worry, Mom. I've got it all under control. I'll explain later. Cyrus continued to butter up my parents for the rest of the evening, acting like the perfect son-in-law to be. Meanwhile, I kept myself busy. I still visited his parents occasionally, bringing them little gifts to stay on their good side. But I had other things in motion. I helped them with their phones, setting them up so they'd get constant updates and news articles about things like how premarital assets can become community property after marriage, how assets are divided during a divorce, and how to avoid putting both spouses' names on the house deed. I even went as far as hiring a few actors, older men and women who could blend in at the local parks. They'd sit near his parents during their daily dance sessions, casually chatting about the amazing deals on pre-construction properties. They'd rave about how great the location was, how the prices were set to rise, how it was the perfect investment. To make it even more convincing, they'd talk about how their own kids had just bought a unit. For a while, it seemed like Cyrus had no intention of buying a house. I almost thought they'd dropped the idea entirely. But then, I stumbled across his messages to his parents. They were plotting behind my back. The plan? First, they'd buy a house and put it under his parents' names. Cyrus would secretly transfer money to them every month to pay off the mortgage. Since they didn't have enough for the down payment, they were planning to borrow from friends and family. And after we got married, they'd use the $50,000 from my family to pay off their debt. If we ever got divorced, the house would still belong to his family, and I'd be left with nothing. Honestly, I almost felt sorry for Liana. Almost. But here's the funny part, I wasn't even mad. In fact, I was kind of looking forward to seeing how all this would play out. One day, I had a meeting with a client at a cafe near the Sky Mansion development to discuss some design plans. And who do I see? Cyrus and Liana walked out of the sales office together. I couldn't help but laugh to myself. This guy really thinks he's outsmarting me. He's playing checkers and I'm over here playing chess. Without missing a beat, I put on my brightest smile and walked right up to them. No need for subtlety. I wasn't hiding anything. Well, fancy running into you to hear. When Cyrus saw me, his face tightened, nervous, with a hint of fear. He wasn't expecting me. Meanwhile, Liana, standing next to him, looked completely unbothered. In fact, she almost seemed proud of herself, casting me a smug glance before speaking. Miss Emerson, Cyrus asked me to come along. He's looking into buying a house and thought I could offer some advice, maybe help him make a decision. She said, her voice dripping with fake politeness. I raised an eyebrow, my lips curling into a slight smirk. Cyrus asked you? You two seem awfully close for just co-workers. You always this friendly with your colleagues? Then I turned my gaze directly at Liana, my voice calm but sharp. Miss Harper, ever heard of keeping things professional? Or is there something about other people's husbands that appeals to you? Maybe you're just a fan of being the other woman? Liana's expression faltered for a second, but she quickly recovered, holding her head high. I shifted my gaze to Cyrus. Well, Cyrus? Do you have something to say? He immediately tried to defuse the situation. Nora, I didn't want to bother you. I know how busy you are with work. I thought I'd check out a few places first, and if I found something good, I'd bring you in. I swear, I was thinking of you the whole time. I'm sorry? He looked at me with that same apologetic expression he always used when he was trying to get out of trouble. I took a deep breath and forced myself to stay calm. In the end, Cyrus and I left together. He had originally planned to drive Liana home, but after an awkward pause, he looked at me, clearly unsure what to do. I didn't waste any time. There's this thing called a taxi, you know. Liana's face flushed with anger. She stomped her foot and stormed off in a huff. On the way home, I didn't bother asking about his relationship with Liana. I could feel him relax, probably thinking he'd dodged a bullet. Instead, I changed the subject to something more practical: houses. Have you looked into real estate? I asked casually. They're developing some great pre-construction properties. Cheaper than buying something already built, and once the area's fully developed, the prices are bound to go up. I even threw in a few examples, mentioning neighborhoods where pre-construction prices had doubled or tripled after just a few years. Cyrus nodded along as he drove, pretending to care, though I knew he wasn't really paying attention. A few days later, I told him I'd be going on a 3-month business trip. I made it sound like a regular work assignment, but in reality, it was a chance for me to train at headquarters one step closer to a promotion. Most people, after winning $5 million, would probably quit their job and start living their best life traveling the world, buying whatever they wanted. But not me. Maybe it's because, in my last life, I gave up this exact promotion. I stayed behind to take care of Cyrus, thinking that if I sacrificed everything for him, we'd have the perfect life together. I was wrong. Or maybe it's because, in my last life, I nearly went bankrupt trying to pay for his medical bills. That's when I realized how quickly money can disappear when you're trying to save someone who doesn't deserve it. This time around, I'm not giving up my future for anyone. I've learned my lesson. If I want to be strong, if I want to protect my parents, I need to focus on myself and my own success. Because at the end of the day, the only person I can truly count on is me. Song Z wanted to buy a ready house, but the price was high. $3 million in total, $900,000 down payment, 30-year loan, over $4 million to repay, more than $10,000 monthly. His parents thought it was too expensive, with no money left after the mortgage. They didn't have enough for the down payment, so they chose a pre-sale house, just starting construction. $2 million in total, $600,000 down payment, over $7,000 monthly. Though it was a trap I set. I was sure they would fall for it. This greedy, foolish family. I ended my trip early and returned home. I saw women's high heels. Women's underwear, dresses scattered on the floor. The bedroom door was half open. That jerk gave me a big gift. Stay calm, don't panic, first record a video. I took my phone and recorded. Then I stormed into the bedroom, throwing water on them. Before Song Z could react, I grabbed a feather duster and started hitting him, shouting, "Song Z, you heartless jerk. We're not even married, and you're fooling around at home. Cheating and bringing her home. You bastard, do you think this is fair to me? I'm working hard for our future, and you do this to me? No, are you crazy? Stop it." Song Z yelled, trying to dodge the feather duster. When he came to his senses, he forcibly took my weapon. Lin Wairu swallowed, scared, holding the blanket to cover herself. "Song Z, you jerk, we're done. We're breaking up." No, I'm sorry, it's her fault. She seduced me." Song Z grabbed me, panicking, knowing I was his ticket to 500,000 yuans. Lin Wairu slapped him twice. "Song Z, you coward, you jerk. If I ever talk to you again, I won't be Lin. Get lost." She grabbed her bag and left. I spat. Disgusting. I packed my things and went back to my parents' house. I told them about Song Z's affair with Lin Wairu. They called his parents that day to cancel the engagement. I heard they beat him up and forced him to apologize, hoping I would forgive him. They said it was just a mistake all men make. I was disgusted. Song Z's family cared about face. So I sent the video to the family group, letting all their relatives see. Oh, Z seemed so decent, who knew he was so wild? An uncle replied, "Zion, don't be like your cousin. Be faithful to your wife." His aunt mocked. Later, a neighbor told me, because of the video, Song Z lost his promotion. Someone shared it in a group, and his boss's wife saw it, influencing his career. With his career and family in turmoil, he fainted at work and was taken to the hospital. They found a malignant tumor, already spreading. The doctor said early detection had a high cure rate, but now it was less than 50%. Treatment and surgery would cost over $1 million, with ongoing care being expensive. His mom cried, begging the doctor, "Please save my son. He's so young, with so much ahead. What will we do without him?" The doctor comforted her, telling her to stay positive. After breaking up with Song Z, I not only got promoted and received a raise, but I also met new friends. One night, after working late, I noticed someone following me, trying to drag me into a dark alley. "Help!" I shouted. Chen Hao, passing by, heard and scared the person away. Thank you. I was shaken, thanking him repeatedly, holding back tears. Chen Hao gave me his jacket and asked uncertainly, "Are you Yan Nono?" I looked at him with teary eyes, my mind blank, not recognizing him. He smiled and introduced himself. I'm Chen Hao, the guy who sat behind you in high school, the one with glasses. I remember now. You've changed a lot, sorry for not recognizing you. After calming down. Thank you for today, old classmate. Let me treat you to a late-night snack as thanks. Sure. We talked about our experiences over the years. I learned Chen Hao went to a top university, then studied abroad, recently returning to take over the family business. Hearing his story, I was in awe. We exchanged WeChat contacts, often sharing what we ate, new places that opened, good food and fun places. Meanwhile, Song Zi, needing money for treatment, tried to sell the pre-sale house. But before he could list it, news broke that the developer went bankrupt. Every day, people demanded their money back. The pre-sale house was worthless, yet he still had to pay the mortgage. This was the trap I set, knowing the developer would go bankrupt. I wanted Song Zi to have no money for treatment, to feel the slow approach of death. He wanted to be hospitalized, but had no money for the fees. He was sent home, hoping to get money for treatment. In my past life, he stayed in a VIP room, with a living room and kitchen. All paid by me, never worrying about money. He was sweet and caring then. Drink more water today, it's getting colder tomorrow, stay warm. Eat more, you're getting thin. I feel so sorry. I shouldn't burden you, I won't get treated. I don't want to drain your family's wealth. Now I see how foolish I was, he just talked. Hearing the news, he was so angry he spat blood, blaming his parents. If we bought the other house, this wouldn't happen. Trying to save money, now the house is gone, how will I get treated? Selfish people think of themselves first. Relatives came demanding their money back. When will you repay the money? You said 2 months, now it's almost 6. Yes, when will you repay? If not, we'll stay here, you feed us. One after another, they demanded. His dad said, Uncle, Aunt, we'll repay, give us time. His mom added, Yes, you see Z can't even afford the hospital, have mercy. Mercy? Who will have mercy on us? We're not rich. If Z doesn't recover, who will repay? Not a few thousand. Yes, if Z doesn't make it, who will repay? If you can't repay, sell this house to cover the debt. Aunt, if you take the house, where will we live? On the streets? After much pleading, they got 2 more weeks to gather the money, or the house would be sold. In my past life, when Z was sick, they never stayed overnight or cooked. Just visited during the day, chatted. His mom went to play cards, I did everything. Paid, worked, cared for him. Did he deserve it? Hearing relatives demand money. Mom, Dad, sell the house, use the money for my treatment. I'm in so much pain. Once I'm better, repaying will be easy. His dad refused. Z, if we sell the house, where will we live? We've lived here all our lives, now we have nowhere to go. If you hadn't cheated and got caught, you wouldn't be in this mess. If you hadn't said Nono had 500,000 dowry to repay the mortgage, we wouldn't have borrowed so much. Now you're sick, who knows if you'll recover? If not, who will care for us? You want to use our last savings. Z turned red with shame, head down. His mom suggested borrowing from me. Unexpectedly, I ran into them at the hospital while taking my parents for a checkup. What bad luck. His mom greeted warmly. No, you're here too. Is something wrong with your parents? Aunt, just a checkup, nothing serious. I wanted to roll my eyes, did she hope for bad news? She expected me to ask about her, but I said, Aunt, I need to get the results, excuse me. As I was leaving, she grabbed my leg, kneeling. No, I know Z wronged you, but he's being punished. Can you help us, for old time's sake? Aunt, get up, let's talk properly, people are watching. No, Z has cancer, we spent all our money. Please help us, we almost became family. People gathered, some filming. She cried, threatening. Please, save him. Promise me, I'll get up. Aunt, what if I don't? If she didn't care about face, why should I? Everyone, look, this woman left my son when he got sick. She cried, drawing more attention. People whispered. I angrily revealed everything. Do you think Z deserves my money? Do you know how cruel they are? They bought a house behind my back, planning to use my dowry to repay the house in his parents' name. I'd get nothing. He cheated, bringing women home. Now his lover is pregnant, but ran away after hearing about his cancer. I'm cruel? I was unlucky to meet them. Luckily, I stopped in time, or they'd drain me dry. They have another house. If they want to save him, sell it. But they won't. T-esque. People reacted. Shameless woman blaming others. The girl did right. Yes, if I had a daughter, I'd keep her away from such people. He deserves to be sick. Only knows how to harm others. I left with sympathy and encouragement. Because of his mom's scene, everyone knew Z's character. Someone, disgusted, dumped a trash can on him in the restroom, locking him inside. His parents struggled to free him. People looked at them with disdain, thinking he deserved it. The video went online, most comments supported me, saying he deserved it. Even heaven couldn't stand him. Z couldn't handle the online abuse, his condition worsened. With debts, relatives took over their house, they lived under a bridge. His parents protested at the developer's office, but were thrown out, injuring their backs. Without timely treatment, they became paralyzed. Z, unable to bear the pain, took a bottle of sleeping pills, ending his short life. His parents eventually starved to death. Meanwhile, Chen Hao and I grew closer through work. Our feelings deepened. Meeting his family happened by chance. Shopping, I saw him talking to a classy woman. Mom, this is my girlfriend, Yan Nono. She's Mr. Yan's daughter. Hello, Aunt, I'm Nono. I stammered, dropping my clothes. Nono, nice to meet you. Don't be nervous, I don't bite. Come visit us. I nodded, she left. During that time, I met all his friends and family. I wanted to know him better. Having just escaped a bad relationship, I was cautious. But plans changed. He took me home, my dad fell on the stairs. We rushed him to the hospital, he arranged surgery. Were you scared? I talked to the hospital, don't worry, your dad will be fine. He held my hand, I nodded, anxious. Thank you. In the hospital room, my dad looked puzzled. I smiled. Don't recognize him? This is Chen Hao, your former student, and my new boyfriend. Chen Hao, you've changed a lot. Thanks for your help. When I'm better, come for dinner. My dad approved. Chen Hao smiled at me, calm. Sure, I'll come. We naturally met each other's parents, they were pleased, and we started planning the wedding. Being with Chen Hao, I realized. Someone who loves you will treat you well. Willingly make sacrifices. Accept your flaws. Appreciate your strengths. Fulfill your wishes. Spend time and effort. Give you beauty and warmth. We should love ourselves first, then others. And stay away from those who don't love us, and cherish those who do.